Everyone, my name is Fatutu, and welcome back to Reverse 1999 for part 2 of Last Evenings on Earth, and my battery just ran out on my mouse. Like, I can't really pick on anything here. There we go. Yeah, I never keep an eye on my mouse just because it runs out of battery. I see a red light, not that maybe it lasts longer. Okay, so, where was I? Last Evenings on Earth for part 2. And in the last video we did 8 parts, and this part we're going to be doing 8 parts, or at least 8 chapters of this event here. So, here and there, we're going to part 9, Science Saloon. Yeah, I'm guessing we're at the Laplace Labs, I guess? Maybe. And I think Manus Vindictae's in there as well, according to that, and I think Enigma's there as well, because I have no idea who wears the coat. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video as well. I forgot to say that. Unofficial meeting of the Artificial Storm Project was held before the Free Breeze set sail from Australia.
Did you wake up with a glitch this morning, Ulrich? The storm has already taken so many lives, and now you're planning to intentionally bring another one upon us?
Quit your worrying, Jonathan. The artificial storm will be under strict control, and you're not even on the research team. Besides, there are some issues we still need to fix, so we've come to a bit of a standstill for now. I promise you won't wake up to find the building engulfed by the storm.
Sorry? Are you saying that you've already started?
I would assume so.
Ulrich, I have to warn you. Ever since you found that satellite, you've been pushing past the limits of Laplace's regulations. You've accessed materials from other branches, used valuable resources for your own purposes, and run experiments without proper clearance.
What baseless claims, Penelope? I'll have you know that everything I've done has been approved by the HQ director.
Director? We don't have a damn director!
Yeah, you do.
But we do have a substitute director, so there.
I mean, he gives a pointed nod in Enigma's direction.
For the last time, I'm not the substitute director. No one can substitute for Madame Lucy.
Oh, apparently you could. That familiar heavy knock on the table resounds once more.
But let's set that aside. We're here to figure out what to do with the satellite. Not to stage an intervention for Ulrich.
The solution's as clear as day, my friends. We'll do exactly what they did in Plisetsk during the third storm. Find someone brave and send them into space.
He's right. Why don't we just build another satellite and see how it handles the storm?
A sarcastic applause suddenly erupts. Ulrich.
Wow, what an
Mess.
amazing idea! Truly a stroke of genius. So, we're talking about a controlled experiment, right?
I almost forgot that Manus Vindictae is extremely sarcastic. Yeah.
That means we'll send not just one, but dozens of satellites, all carrying different items.
What's the problem with that?
It'll take too
Oh,
long.
nothing. The budget team will be thrilled at the idea. Here's a better one. We sit tight and wait till the storm sends us back to 1995. And bingo! Surprise! There's our satellite, orbiting around the Earth once again.
Medicine Pocket, please mind your tone in the meeting room.
Oh, sure. Just as soon as they stop trying to waste all our research funds.
I'm with researcher Medicine Pocket here.
Yeah.
There's no need to launch more satellites. We should be focusing on the Artificial Storm Project.
Ulrich knocks the table, drawing everyone's attention.
The project has made substantial progress. I have collected every item that was once on the Regulus satellite, including the space seeds from Plesetsk. You have no idea how difficult that was, let me tell you. It was easier to get Regulus's record.
He's not wrong.
Still, you probably didn't need to steal it, Ulrich.
You say that, but I've heard that it isn't going all that smoothly. Accelerating the reaction of asymmetrical nuclide R with fixed frequency sound waves so as to stimulate the storm. It sounds impressive, but what's the payoff? Have you found the key material that provides immunity from the storm?
Good point, Lucas. I never claimed the experiment was perfect. In fact, I'll be the first to admit that it has some serious procedural flaws.
Huh?
Through 26 microscale artificial storms, I tested 7 different space seeds, an astronomical spectrometer, a high-speed photometer, some obsidian crystals, and a Lycopus lucidus talisman. None of them endured the trials.
Then what do we do now? Just give up?
No!
Ulrich awkwardly clears his throat, which I should be doing.
But I have used all the asymmetrical nuclide R that we had in the warehouse.
What?
I guess that was his stuff. Medicine Pocket springs to their feet like a shocked animal.
Sit down, Medicine Pocket. Jonathan, go get some stress ball.
No! I can shout all I want, okay, Substitute Director?
Medicine Pocket slams the table, sending papers flying.
Ulrich! All the asymmetrical nuclide R, it's all gone?
I had to use it. It's just standard consumption, like in any other experiment. And I got results.
With that amount of resources, of course you'd find something, dumbass. Even a broken clock's right twice a day. Keep at it if you want. You're gonna smash that dead end head on.
I don't see why you're commenting on my work. We're not even in the same department.
Ulrich presses down on the table to ease the vibrations, shaking the ferrofluid in his tank.
Because you used my materials! That was most of the nuclide R from both the Laplace and the Foundation! You have to be kidding me! You get all you want while I'm here like some chump filling out endless forms just to get a few drops.
Alright, the badge on Medicine's Pocket's chest creaks under the stress of their shouts.
Next time, just give me the funds and nuclide, and I'll be more than happy to run a few laps in the storm with that crap from the satellite and see what happens.
We would never endanger the life of a researcher like that.
That's why we should launch another satellite. No need to risk anyone's life, especially since we got plenty of colleagues with aeronautics experience.
Okay, so your idea is to spend a lot of money on a satellite, which takes a lot of time for it to get prepared and a lot of time to get it launched. While Manus Vindictae wants just a few funds and the materials, so he'll just run around the storm whenever it comes by. So I think Ulrich's idea of creating an artificial storm would be a preferable one.
Can't do that. Our best space expert is still in the Laplace care unit.
Wait, who? The smoke temporarily clears, and finally one member returns the meeting to its main agenda.
So, Ulrich, what's the next step with your experiment?
I'm taking it outside, of course. The richest deposits of asymmetrical nuclide R aren't in the lab or the Foundation's warehouse. They're out there in the real world. We've been overlooking how the density of nuclide R has affected our experiment results.
Come on, Ulrich, that's just an excuse. Where would you find a higher nuclide R density than in a Laplace lab?
That might be the exact problem. The environment here is too controlled, too clean. The storm has never been the manifestation of order, but of chaos.
True.
And how exactly do you plan on finding chaos?
The scientists are fighting tooth and nail to secure the budgets for their individual projects.
Everyone, please! If we just sit here arguing instead of getting out there and doing something, those sneaky researchers at Institutum Lawrence are going to get ahead of us!
He slams a butterfly-patterned envelope heavily onto the table, adding yet more fuel to the fiery chaos.
Lawrence? That strange secret society?
Let's see what kind of bull they're spouting this time.
No, Medicine Pocket, just toss the letter into the shredder.
I don't think they care. What if he's here? Hurried footsteps echo, and a clear voice cuts through the chaos.
Ladies and gentlemen, my apologies for interrupting your debate. The St. Pavlov Foundation has passed a new resolution.
Simone, I'm glad you're back. I mean, really. I mean, she is Madame Lucy's attendant. Alright, so I gotta get past this to unlock the 10th, right? So, scholarly exchange. Let me clear my throat for this one. What's this? A Chaos Warring Box. Lawrence Butterfly attached a warring ritual to an envelope. This is a device driven entirely by Arcanum. Are we really going to use this? A black eyeball covered in synapses, complete with a mouth? Let me guess. It's got stringent activation conditions, experimental results that are near impossible to replicate, and an unconventional method of operation. Once activated, it detects environmental changes through gnosis, emitting screams at varying decibel levels to indicate different supernatural phenomena. Well, it certainly fits this style. Our understanding of the storm is still quite shallow. Institutum Lorentz is offering a new perspective. The storm is not a phenomenon, but the ebb and flow of chaotic variable energy. Their concept of pneuma is indeed an appropriate way to understand it. It seems you've gained a lot from this exchange of letters. Are you planning to author a new paper together? You could just rename the asymmetrical nuclei to chaotic energy, and there, our department's monthly research quota is checked off. It is without a doubt that Institutum Lorentz has provided significant contributions to the artificial storm project. Before the third, sixth, and seventh storms, Lorentz Butterfly predicted several potential storm eye locations, which emerged just as foretold. With the assistance from the Field Agent Administration, I confirmed the status of the indicated areas, although they didn't perfectly match the core regions of the storm. Those coordinates did correspond to concurrent supernatural phenomena. As researchers, we must recognize the value of building upon the work of those who came before us. Yes, but for researchers, didn't perfectly match and concurrent don't constitute convincing enough reports. If you want the data, the p-value is as low as 0.012, which means there's a significant correlation. The inputs and results can be verified, so the findings are reliable. Oh, that's just great. Fantastic. Soon enough, the entire Institutum Lorentz will know our IQ is reversing faster than time itself. Wow. A valid argument. Alright. So to part 10, piracy, not the fun kind. Simone's statement is definitely a much more damaging bomb.
Miss Simone, did you just say something about the Foundation? Are we not moving off topic? We were discussing our efforts to identify substances immune to the storm. What is all this about the Foundation?
No idea, but it's sure to be the most cheerful, positive, wonderful news. That'll teach you to run Madam Buckethead out of town. Now it's going to be those Foundation dimwits calling the shots. Ha!
I won't stand for the Foundation ordering Laplace around. I'll set things straight with them later. You have my word.
He raises his hands in expiration. Sorry. I had to drink my water. In exasperation, before promptly dropping them and slumping back into his chair.
In fact, Miss Simone, you may relay my message now.
I understand your concerns, Mr. Enigma, but given our present circumstances, the Foundation's involvement may have a bright side.
She unfolds a neatly prepared document.
The resolution the Foundation relayed to me was principally concerned with your artificial storm project, Mr. Ulrich.
I drank from the wrong pipe again. Did it. That hurts.
What? Did you switch gears on us, Ulrich?
For Flux's sake, all I did was ask for a little support.
Speaking of, the Foundation also sent through their approval for your other requests. Mostly anyway. They agreed to supply the majority of your requested materials, including replenishing a portion of our asymmetrical nuclide R. And they've dispatched field investigators to assist us. Additionally, they've done preliminary screenings on the locations you mentioned and confirmed they meet the specifications of our experiments.
The Foundation has never been this generous with us before. Huh.
Joy rushes through Ulrich. He feels almost in a daze.
Don't go popping the champagne just yet, Ulrich! Our new bosses aren't going to come anywhere close to replacing all the asymmetrical nuclide R you've wasted.
Ulrich ignores them, his gaze fixated on the letter in Simone's hands.
Still, it's all too easy. What's the catch?
They want to witness our results. Firsthand.
The table is smacked once again. Leave the table
Deal.
alone. Deal? Okay, easy enough.
Someone,
Leave the table alone.
anyone, take down the minutes.
Ulrich pounds the table once more, sending waves through the ferrofluid.
They also sent over another possible location that they haven't been able to confirm. A ship. The Foundation has requested that you investigate it personally. The Timekeeper will brief you on the details.
Fine, fish tank. You're off the hook for now.
And we're back. What the? Wait, were they watching a video? Regulus glances at them. Then her eyes fix on Ulrich, who is calmly removing his disguise.
Just so we're clear, you're not planning to smuggle out my treasure, right?
I wouldn't think of it.
Fab. And you're not angling that I foot the bill for this excursion, right?
Video. You're serious. Ulrich clears his throat before steering the conversation back on track.
The Foundation's intel appears accurate. After some preliminary checks, I'm certain this will be an ideal locale to conduct our experiments. I've never seen such intense readings of asymmetrical nuclide R outside of the storm.
Now hold on a minute, Ulrich. You're not about to take a swim, are you?
No.
Only if necessary.
Necessary. No. Okay.
With my record? You've got to be off your rocker, mate.
Ulrich quickly abates her protestations by presenting her with the record.
Not at all. It's time it was returned to its rightful owner.
She's happy. She embraces the record like an old friend.
Oh, my darling. Oh, my treasure. Welcome home. Oh, I'll broadcast your tracks on Radio Apple for 72 hours straight and hold the rockinest party ever just for you. Oh, you've got my word.
I never hear her so happy. The joy of this reunion pours out of her before a graver possibility flashes across her mind.
Hold on. You're not about to withhold my funds, are you?
Fret not, Regulus. Given its special significance to you, we made its composition analysis our first priority. Now that the first step is done, I'm more than happy to return it to you.
But what about your experiments?
Clutching her little thing in her hands, Regulus hesitates, then reluctantly hands it to Ulrich. Ulrich clears his throat again, donning the feigned formality of his disguise once more.
Not to worry. I've already made arrangements.
How so? That's where it was. He proudly raises his coat to unveil Laplace's latest masterpiece. Copying her records. He copied her entire record, songs included. He looks like a salesman about to sell illegal records. Hey, buddy, I got some records for you. The most famous records you got in this coat here. It'll be 21 pounds. Or $21, $15, even up to... Oh, just kidding. I'm trying to speak like one of those shady freaking salespeople. You know, wearing long trench coats with items in their pockets here. With the check mark on his face, too. Dozens of identical Little Thing records are stacked neatly together.
We went to great lengths to ensure these replicas were identical in every way. We even reproduced the ink used in the signature.
Wow.
Identical down to their heart and soul, courtesy of Laplace craftsmanship. We've achieved complete consistency in both composition and appearance.
Forgery! Sorry. Ulrich's proud tone is cut off by Regulus's exclamation of surprise.
What? Well, I've got to hand it to you. They're dead ringers for the real thing. But this is piracy. And not the fun kind. Musical piracy.
I'm sorry, speaking from a pirate. Says the pirate that illegally broadcasts music? With stolen records. How ironic. This is irony. Okay, I'm done.
Drastic times call for drastic measures. I hope you'll find it in your heart to forgive us, Regulus.
Ulrich, you have my respect, my dude. You are a Chad. It's so stupid, but I love it. It's so stupid, but I love it. Okay, so on to part 11, the fateful hometown. Alright. Under the moonlight. Cumulus clouds drift slowly across the night sky like the rolling waves of the sea, the countless stars glinting gently behind them. The damp sea breeze has laid a heavy layer of moisture on the surfaces of the ship. Standing at the observation window, the captain's face betrays no emotion. There is a faint, hesitant sound at our door.
Oh, Miss Fatutu. I hadn't expected you to visit.
Grace's face lights up, every inch radiating joy. She eagerly opens the door, affectionately pulling Fatutu in the room.
I must say it's a welcome relief from the onslaught of greedy businessmen and boorish officials. All puff and no substance. Bloated, lifeless. They remind me of a few specimens of decay from my collection.
Creepy.
Decaying specimens? Miss Grace, you mean body?
Hush. Let's just leave things at that.
Oh, great. She collects corpses. She squints as she studies the faintly protruding veins of the girl on the girl's hands, imagining the blood coursing anxiously through them.
So then, you're here to talk about something else? Go ahead.
Yes, Miss Grace. I just wanted some advice, if you don't mind.
Not at all, my dear. We are friends, aren't we? We are venturing into the unknown. So it is little surprise that you feel lost. But disorientation is a dangerous enemy. I am more than happy to help. Relax and keep an open mind, dear. We have a long night ahead.
A few soft, subtle noises come from outside, but they're not enough to disrupt the intimate conversation between the two. Grace sets down her pocket watch, her gaze drifting past the slightly ajar door, a faint smile teasing her lips.
The thing is, I tried to ignore the outside world, just like you said, but I failed.
Fatutu instinctively lowers her head.
The idea of raising a spear against people I know so little about, even if it was to avenge my home, I felt I had to learn more about these outsiders, to understand them. I'm sorry I went against your advice. I thought that learning about them would harden my resolve. I thought that I would hate them from the depths of my soul. That the hatred would be so strong that I'd feel no remorse. That I would see in them what you and Manus Vindictae do. But...
In the face of her wavering resolve, Fatutu bows her head in shame.
Instead, after interacting with the people here...
The noisy music hall, the bustling tourists, the bright lights, the sea shanties, they all linger in her mind.
Fatutu, my dear. There's no shame in having second thoughts.
The gentleness of her response leaves Fatutu momentarily stunned.
How could you not? This was but your first glimpse of a world so much wider than you knew. But you'll soon realize that it is nothing more than a dying corpse. Its lungs still clinging on to its last breath. The face rots first, you know. It's a nasty scene, I assure you. Those shrinking, putrefying eyeballs are always a headache for taxidermists. Next, the chest cavity. It rots out from the inside, bloating with noxious gases produced by its decomposing flesh, until it's ready to pop like a party balloon.
Okay.
Even at this stage, if you were to hold your breath and look only to the limbs, you might marvel at the artisanship. Such a perfect creation. Yet it dies all the same. So it goes.
Fatutu has never encountered such a warm and spirited captive before.
Do you see the world any clearer now? Take your time. Think it through.
What is going on? Grace lightly taps her finger on the board beside her, as if keeping time with the faint footsteps outside. Lost in thought, Fatutu remains oblivious to it all.
The outsiders are different from what I expected. Miss Grace, are you sure they're truly evil?
Grace glances out the window. Through the porthole, a strange vibrating sound grows louder and more distinct. Following Grace's gaze, Fatutu notices an enormous shadow on the other side of the porthole. Can parasols and railings really create such an enormous silhouette?
They are cunning, menacing, and at times have even been known to engage in eavesdropping.
The shadow creeps closer toward them, stealthily and deliberate.
Miss Grace, watch out! It's some kind of monster!
There is no doubt this cutting description has angered the shadowy intruder.
Huh?
Who is this?
It's here!
Scrambling, Fatutu grabs whatever is nearby, signaling lights, brooms, and heaving lines, and flings them at the door.
I'll protect you, Miss Grace!
Out of the door, I meant. What is it? Misunderstanding? Maybe? Wait. It's Barcarola.
Saxophone's end.
Yeah, it is Barcarola.
Avendura?
For
As you wish. I dedicate this song to you.
goodbye.
Please enjoy. This is a breach of free brick. My next performance, bubbles bursting.
Yeah, it is.
What an awful racket you make. Listen up. Woohoo! Stay calm. Listen to the melodies of wind and waves. Stars light the way. Unbreakable. Please enjoy. What an awful racket you make. Listen. Saxophone's end. Avendura? As you wish. Sending down signals from above. I dedicate this song to you. Listen up. You have any requests? That's a sound for a new era.
Yes. Great.
The commotion seems to have come to an end.
Is it dead?
Panting heavily, Fatutu musters the courage to rush out of the cabin. The figure on the deck is far removed from the terrifying enemy she envisioned.
Oh, it's you, Barcarola.
Really? Oh no, she did not just make her cry. A familiar tea-streaked face emerges from the aftermath of the chaos. The captain, however, seems unfazed by the disfavored state of her crew staff.
Miss Barcarola, what a pleasure to see you.
Have you lost your mind, Fatutu? I've been looking all over the ship for you to thank you for the lamps you made. This is a funny way of saying you're welcome. Not even the rudest student in Cremona would attack someone for saying thanks.
Wow, an unfamiliar term springs from her lips, sparking Fatutu's curiosity.
Cremona? Where's that?
That's really not what matters here.
Settle down, please, ladies. This was only a small misunderstanding, wasn't it?
She ain't wrong.
As both your captain and your friend, I hope that you might be able to resolve this. I do believe I could see you two becoming fast friends.
The captain's overtures are anything but subtle.
Fatutu here is eager to learn about the outside world. And I'm sure you must have many stories to share, don't you? Consider it a favor, in exchange for those sea mother's eyes.
It simply wouldn't do for a captain to leave these two in such a state. Cashews are good. I can tell you this.
Why don't you take a seat, Miss Barcarola?
She moves aside, extending two delicate hands to them. The girls take her hands, allowing themselves to be drawn close. Then they lean together in the railing. The sea breeze sweeps across the deck, dispersing whatever awkwardness there was between them.
You were quick to gloss over your hometown. Cremona, wasn't it?
Apologies, but this is a very good moment here. Also, I was trying to read this. I was right about the railing. Fine enough. Grace's voice is gentle and soft. Barcarola finally loosens the tension in her strings, speaking as she looks out over the moonlit water.
Cremona, the city of violins, as they say. See, I was born in that awful, dreary old place. But I don't like to talk about it, Miss Grace.
Fatutu examines Barcarola's expression.
But it sounds like you still miss your home. So why speak of it that way? Is there something wrong with it? In Nicoteo, when we find something rotted in our village, we wrap it up in stinky grass and throw it in the ocean. Do you outsiders not do this as well?
Well, it's not completely rotted exactly. It's just...
She furrows her brow, seemingly searching for the right words.
In Cremona, everything is bound up with the violin. How it's made, how it's played, even the science of it. It fills the air and every conversation. You can't walk to the trattoria without tripping over a virtuoso. They come from Rome, Berlin, London, New York, Nairobi, Tokyo, Uppsala, people from far and wide, all crammed into one town. Not a day goes by without a concert, a symphony, or a festival musicale.
Am I misunderstanding you? Because to the Nukatai, the idea of a place with music and festivals every day sounds very... fun.
Oh, look at this dictation.
That's where you're wrong, Signora. It's no fun at all. At least, for me. To be Cremonese is to take pride in its music, its history, and above all, its violins. And you must learn to love the violin, the viola, the violoncello, and the bass, because there is nothing else. Every quartet is a string quartet. Every concerto is Vivaldi. Strings, strings, strings. The monotony is unbearable.
She really hated that thing.
The world has so very many instruments as diverse and as varied as the people that fill it. Even the shell around your neck could sing if you knew just where to tap it. But not in Cremona. That's why I speak of it that way, Fatutu. Because if I had stayed there, I would never have seen the music of the world and its instruments, and my crackling box would never have been able to know their sounds.
And she wouldn't have expressed herself a lot.
The Nukutai don't have many instruments. Not so many as you anyway. But we were never bored with what we had. I'm certain that your island holds great beauty beyond its music. If ever we grow tired of singing and dancing, we'd go searching for shells or swimming in the reefs.
You still have much to learn about the world beyond your islands.
Then you have no intention of ever returning home, Miss Barcarola?
A seemingly most ordinary question.
Return? No, never. They're too set in their ways. Like old fossils. My vision of music grew beyond them, and I did too.
Barcarola cups her hands around her mouth and hollers out into the fog covered...
I won't force myself back into their little world!
Fog covered horizon. Damn it, I couldn't read it fast enough. I'm sorry.
Your determination is admirable indeed.
Glad to hear it. Then my position is safe for another day.
How could it not be? You are the very star of the free breeze.
Uh-huh.
Barcarola's face lights up with a renewed pride.
What about you, Miss Grace? You've never told us about your home.
It's a place of little interest to anyone. Not even worthy of naming.
Her demeanor is far more composed than the rambling chatter of Barcarola.
They say a musician must be free of attachments to be truly creative. Perhaps this is true of captains as well.
No, that can't be right. The Nukutai believe that to stray from our home is the death of the spirit. If we travel too far and too long, our spirit shells develop cracks that no amount of Nuku glue can mend.
That's funny. For me, home is where you make it. It doesn't matter where. You make a home wherever you have to. If you feel peace, then that's your home.
And from these cracks come an intense sadness. The elders call it homesick.
Homesickness. See, we have this word as well. The sailors aboard often ask me to play the songs of their youth when they're missing their homes. So many different melodies. Thankfully, my crackling box has all kinds of instruments to suit their needs. I imagine it must be difficult for your people now. If you'd like, I could learn to play some of your songs and perform them. I'd be more than happy to help after all you've done.
That's kind of you. I'm sure it'll be of great help to us.
I'm more than happy to help, Fatutu. It is my job after all.
The girls' conversation seems to stretch on forever, but in the decreasing frequency with which they rub their eyes clearly marks the passage of time. Damn it. Eventually the sun climbs above the sea, painting its surface with a satin blue, and, as the ship's horn sounds, gentle ripples spread across its surface.
It appears the sun has caught up with us, ladies.
Uh-oh.
Mamma mia! The concert!
Oh, the morning concert. As she rubs her eyes, Barcarola catches a glimpse of the captain slightly shaking her pocket watch and remembers something equally important.
I promised Signora Regulus a rock and roll concert, but I haven't even asked her what instruments she needs.
She's got her instrument. Already.
Ciao, ragazze!
With hurried footsteps clattering down the stairs, Barcarola quickly finishes.
Thank you for talking with us, Miss Grace.
She has waited for Barcarola to be clearly out of sight before speaking.
Don't mention it. I only hope that it was helpful for you.
I have one last question. I was wondering, how do you stay so determined?
That's a good question. What determination? A very good question indeed. So is Barker going to find out that these were going to be forgotten tunes, maybe? Or something that's not of her era? I'm not sure. Some characters almost often find their way to figuring things out. So the air is bustling with anticipation. Regulus stands on stage, cheering and dancing in a lively twist.
Hello, Free Breeze! Listen up, all my rock and roll stars fans and wannabes. You lot are in luck, because you are about to experience the greatest, grandest, most radical rock and roll party of the era. Now get up on those feet and drag those little legs of yours on deck, because it's time to get those old bones jumping. Just think, folks, one day you'll be sitting by a fireplace telling your grandkiddies that you were here. This is the night you become a legend.
Ciao, Regulus.
Barcarolo bursts into the room.
Well, if it isn't our star musicista.
Musicista, huh?
This isn't what we agreed on. I thought we'd make our preparations together.
Well, there's no waiting for Regulus. Regulus just jams on.
What preparations?
Barcarola pats her chest as she tries to steady her breathing.
To begin with, we must do a survey of our guests' musical preferences, then prepare a song list to match. Then we must carefully organize our transitions to optimize the flow of the concert.
Wait. Arrangements. Concert. What are you on about? This is rock and roll, love. A proper rock and roll party.
No arrangements? No song list? This isn't what I was taught to do in Cremona.
This is the clash of musical artists here. One that's prepared and one that doesn't need preparing. You just have a record and just play it.
As musicians, we have a responsibility to ensure that every listener enjoys an exquisite and seamless experience. We must allow them to savor the emotion and artistry of each piece.
Sounds a bit stuffy, doesn't it? Come on, no reason to get all hung up on the details. Music is freedom. The only thing that matters in rock and roll are the vibes.
Regulus clearly holds no space for unnecessary formalities.
You don't use your brain, you feel it in your heart, babe. Guess your miserable old music teachers never taught you that, eh?
Barcarolo furrows her brow, but eventually her expression relaxes. That's
fine.
That hurts. Even for her. I mean, all her life she's studied classical music. Violin, to be honest. And enough to make her crackling box a reality, but clashing with modern music? Yeah, that's something that happens eventually, you know?
But just to be clear, next time we do it my way.
Cheers, love! You're an inspiration to musical directors the whole world over.
Flattery is often more effective than any incantation.
You can find the record player in the locker backstage.
Regulus immediately darts backstage.
Fab!
Turn off the lights. Connect the sound system, check the stylus, pick a record. Position the tone arm, raise your hands high, and get ready for a...
Is this what you call heavy metal?
What?
What's that? No. First up is an iconic taste of psychedelic rock. But I haven't even found the power socket yet.
The clanging of metal echoes from the lower decks, growling louder and clearer. Then an eerie, otherworldly shrieking follows, followed by what feels like an earthquake. While the guests exchange uneasy glances, Sonetto has sensed that something is amiss.
Timekeeper, those sounds are familiar, aren't they? Metallic percussion sounds, sprinkled with screams of pain. It's Manus Vindictae.
Those blackened, bizarre metallic creatures rear their heads once more. A torrent of metal instruments surges up from the stairwells to the lower levels, like oil gushing out of a pipe. The sudden commotion sends the guests into an uproar. They huddle together, whispering nervously to one another.
What? These again? Which hellhole did they crawl out of this time?
Don't worry, Senora Regulus. I won't let them disturb your rock party.
She stands calmly but fiercely before them.
You oafish barnacles are ruining the atmosphere and scaring our guests. I very much doubt you're doing this with the approval of Captain Grace. You should be working in the engine room, not making noise up on deck. Have you all forgotten the Seafarer's Code of Conduct?
They appear unmoved. The Foundation's investigators step forward, immediately taking command of the situation.
Sinetto, Regulus, get the crowd out of here. Get ready to engage with these Manus thugs.
Understood. Miss Barcarola, I'll ask you kindly to step back from these brutes.
Please, Senora. There's no need for alarm. I know they may look a little strange, but they're just engine crew. They work here, and as such, as our musical director, I have some authority over them. Moreover, it is my duty to ensure all our guests have a safe and enjoyable stay.
Now I see how the Manus kept themselves hidden.
Fatutu quickly finds herself trapped amid the restless crowd. She stands on tiptoe, dazzled by the countless overlapping shadows and rays of sunlight.
Is that Barcarola? What's she doing over there?
Amid curious and astonished gazes, Barcarola gradually approaches that dark mass of Manus followers.
If you've come to be entertained or perhaps for some music lessons, I would be more than happy to assist you in the crew quarters later. However, your musical talents will not be needed at this time, as we already have a scheduled performance.
No heed is taken. Instead, a hammer is raised high.
Stop then!
Well, looks like we're finally get to engage the Manus.
Let the overture begin.
Listen up.
Shotgun!
Goodbye.
Do you have any requests?
Sending down signals
Please
from above.
enjoy. Saxophone. Do you have any requests? My next performance, bubbles bursting.
Stars light the
Listen up.
Proper.
Don't act surprised. It's just another day on the job.
More and more Manus disciples fill the perimeter of the hall, surrounding those inside like trembling penned sheep.
Well, what's happening? Why are they acting crazy?
She stands resolutely, putting herself between the guests and the crazed Manus disciples, her heavy breathing condensing on the neck of her crackling box.
As the musical director of the Free Breeze, I can't allow you to harm our guests.
Enough of your nonsense, foolish outsider.
Oh, I guess someone has decided to join the Manus. A flash of cold light streaks through the air.
No! Hobo protect!
Popo protect, really? Popo Tui. A shell-shaped ripple appears, deflecting an icy arrow.
Are you okay, Barcarola?
Fatutu darts out from the crowd, rushing over to Barcarola with no regard for the surprised stares of the Nukatai behind her.
What are you doing, Fatutu? That is an outsider. Have you forgotten your duty to your people?
A stern, familiar reprimand booms in her ears. After studying the shaken musician, Fatutu nervously turns around. Her brother's figure looms in the shadows of the crowd. For the first time, this image deeply unsettles her.
No! Never! But, Kamutsa, this is not defending our home. And it doesn't feel like avenging it either. What we suffered was not these people's fault. There has to be a better solution to all this. This isn't our way. It isn't right.
Fatutu stares fearfully as her brother draws near. As he comes into the light, she finds herself staring into a face that is both familiar and strange.
Kamutsa!
He's wearing the mask, isn't he? Yep, he is. And the shell is cracked. Komuta gently shakes his head. Inky black liquid drips from the seams of his mask.
Fatutu, we have no choice.
And look, the shell is distorted, spiky, and cracked. Wow. Okay. Looks like he's far too gone, and I accidentally touched the wheel. Alright, clashing genres. Okay, so it's back to the islands, apparently. So, medical records. Let's look at this. So, shipboard medical log. Charlie 43, seasickness administered by... What? How the hell do you... Diamond hydronite. Is that Drainate? Is that how you say it? Janice 29, severe seasickness administered diamond hydronite. Nate. Kalia 17, seasickness. Patient refused medication. Advised to open a window and get some fresh air. It's really trying how afraid some 17-year-olds can be of taking medication. So on Thursday, Alessio 33, diarrhea from consuming excessive seafood. Administered diphenogylate. Advised bed rest and adequate hydration. Kalia again scolded by water heater. Accompanying personnel were agitated and cursing. Calmed them down. Cleaned the burn and applied ointment. These two never cease to amaze me. Last time I spent ages explaining seasickness meds, and now they talk about water fireboxes and heat pots. Where on earth are they from? I know whom. Received an emergency call from the crew informing me of an altercation involving 5 passengers in the dining area. Treated 4 with minor injuries and 1 with a light injury on the spot. The captain tells me that this wasn't caused by those shell-wearing lads this time. Still, with their bizarre and smug demeanor towards others, it wouldn't surprise me if they got into trouble one of these days. So on Tuesday, Ira 22, bloating, diarrhea, vomiting, high fever. Administer IV fluids, kept on under observation. During observation, the patient showed signs of delirium, claiming the cruise had reached the new era, and demanded the disembark and return to Nuku'tao. The shell on the patient's chest turned from white to red and developed numerous cracks. When questioned about this, the patient hastily hid the shell, and the accompanying person sternly rebuked us and changed the subject. So this was one of the developments that, well, things have gotten bad. So some of the islanders have begun to join the Manus, and yeah, we're about to enter a rebellion, or at least a really fight here. I don't know why they were brought into a ship. Maybe to pressure them to cause harm onto the others. Maybe to fixate the belief that outsiders are like demons or whatever, and they need to be exterminated, and they need to join the Manus. So, End of the Sun? I guess so. And I fear that Fatutu might be the last of her people, because they joined the Manus, and not her. The sound of scraping metal brings an end to the pumping rock music, painting a look of solemnity and fear on the faces of every guest. A lithe figure steps gracefully onto the stage. Grace.
We should raise a toast, one and all, for we're in luck's good graces to be aboard this ship. A ship? Perhaps one ought to think of it more as an art.
The guests exchange uneasy glances. After a long silence, one guest hesitantly breaks the silence with a question.
Just what are you getting at?
Oh, I get it. Is this some kind of surprise theme party, like a murder mystery? Is that right, Miss Barcarola?
I don't think it is. Barcarola looks bewildered. The captain's sudden and strange appearance on the stage was certainly not part of any performance. At least not one she had prepared.
No, I didn't plan for any of this.
You aren't entirely wrong, though, Mr. Matthews. For this is certainly a surprise. If not so much a party as a ceremony, allow me to congratulate you, our honored guests. Each of you with your unique talents, resources, and powerful connections have earned a chance to join Manus Vindictae.
If this is some kind of joke, Captain, I don't find it funny. So how about you knock it off?
There's no joke at all. Unless you plan on throwing away your precious opportunity to join us in the new era.
What the hell is that supposed to mean? Have you gone insane?
Yeah, you're talking to a Manus Vindictae. In their fear and anger, the guests make to leave, but a young man in a mask swiftly blocks the doorway.
How dare you blaspheme our savior?
Wow. Okay.
Toa, ever since you put on that mask, you've been acting strangely. Like a different person.
They did. Wow, they're really not in the loop about the Manus Vindictae at all. So they're easy pickings for recruits. And they don't understand at all. She can hardly recognize her dear friend at all.
You're wrong, Salome. I was lost after we left Melly. But now, I've never felt so certain of myself. You must ready yourself for the mask trial too. We must all be willing to sacrifice to bring our people into the new era.
He proudly pounds his chest as he glares disdainfully at the trembling crowd before him.
As for these ignorant outsiders, they will never understand the depths of the crimes they've committed, or the punishment they deserve.
Calm down, Toa. Don't bother with these outsiders. They only care about themselves. Only the storm can bring the change we need.
With bizarre masks, fervent prophecies, and the clinking of misshapen shells, they perform their unannounced stage play. Its audience cowers together in fear.
Lunatics!
Timekeeper, it seems as though the islanders aboard are working with Manus Vindictae.
There's no telling what else the Manus have up their sleeve. We need to call for support as soon as possible.
But you got the jamming signal, huh?
But our communications are jammed.
Mm-hmm.
Regulus, are you able to reach Mr. Ulrich?
I should be. I've got no clue where he's at now. He dashed off with the roaring machine, mumbling something about sound wave frequency and nuclide R. Still, I might as well give it a shot. If I can still recall Laplace's internal frequency, that is.
Sinetto, we must calm the situation before things escalate further.
On it.
Orders are issued methodically. Grace watches with interest as a Navy top hat moves through the crowd. A gentle smile creeps across her face.
Ladies and gentlemen, perhaps you have yet to understand what the storm really is.
No, perhaps we don't. Because I remember what you wrote in all the flyers. The Free Breeze is equipped with a double hull and the most advanced communication systems available, capable of contacting rescue and support under any circumstances.
Yeah, and something about its stabilizing system. Why should we be worried about some heavy weather? Or were you lying to us?
Oh, the specifications of the ship are all very much true. No natural weather phenomenon could endanger us here. However, the storm I speak of is not a mere matter of churning wind and thunder. And no double hull, nor stabilizing system, could stand against it.
So, what the hell is this storm?
Yeah.
It is a cleansing. A deluge that will come to eradicate all the sickness of this world.
Massacre.
And an opportunity. A chance to reverse our course. All that is asked of you is an insignificant price.
Reverse? Price? What are you talking about?
Tense.
In the 90s, veins turned into wires.
What?
In the 80s, skulls turned into geometric shapes. Oh, in the 60s, what fun we had then.
Christ, look at this. It's so weird. And they had no clue.
The entire world became a pop art spectacle.
Yep, this is the beginning here.
And Manus Vindictae have seen us through each one for all these many years.
The crowd's murmuring growl grows louder and more chaotic.
So, you're saying that the world is going to be transformed?
And, yeah.
And something weird will happen to our bodies too?
Yep.
You are exactly right.
And the Manus were behind all of this? Why?
Now, don't be so harsh on us. We've made heroic efforts to cleanse this world of its sickness, but each generation keeps making the same mistakes. Economic collapse, environmental crisis, endless wars and bloodshed. We had no choice. The wounds of this world must be cleansed, one deluge at a time. Now we are welcoming a new storm, one that will reverse us to an even more distant past.
Fear and anger intertwine. The crowd is like a volcano on the verge of eruption.
You're a lunatic, Captain. You need your head examined. Lady, you need a psychiatrist.
But these things you're showing us, they really happened?
No need to take my word for it. You will all bear witness to it soon.
The crowd descends into a hushed panic. Every lapping of the waves can be heard amid their almost ghostly murmurs. This is the perfect moment to calm the crowd.
The storm is not coming. We are from the St. Pavlov Foundation, an organization dedicated to the protection and rights of humans and arcanists.
Oh, thank goodness.
As the timekeeper of the St. Pavlov Foundation, I can assure you, what she showed you won't happen here. Manus Vindictae are just trying to manipulate you into buying into their deception and hatred. Don't give in to this false fear. Please, everyone, remain calm.
Another bamboo arrow shoots through the air.
Protect us? You? Don't make me laugh!
Fatutu doesn't hesitate to stop him.
Oh, wait! She seems trustworthy. Maybe we should listen to what they have to say.
Really? You think these people care about rebuilding our home? Were they there when Nukutea was hit by the great waves? Where was their protection then?
Well, to be honest, you guys did put up a freaking barrier that lets you be concealed. And it's kind of your own fault. To be honest, you can't really say that because you guys actually put up something that makes you guys seem like uninhabited islands. Well, no one's there then because you guys were empty.
I'm not sure.
Islands are empty.
But I just can't bear the thought that we might make a decision we'll regret later. I don't want to see any more cracks and scratches on our shelves.
Too late that. Her cries cannot overpower the murmuring of the guests, nor can they quell the rising fury of her kin. And they certainly cannot stop another poison arrow. What the hell?
Subito será. This is getting out of hand. Be careful, Timekeeper. They're coming for us.
Okay, so we get to fight some islanders. Okay, so I noticed that there are some laggage here and there, so let's take a look at the new enemy here. What is this? When casting at least 3 incantations of the same type within a round, trigger homophones. Every additional incantation of the same type cast it this way, then they can summon a Nukutea to the allied battlefield. Okay. So do we have to take them down, I guess? Alright, so that's Komuda. We're fighting him already. And another Nukutea. So I guess we have to concentrate our fight with this dude.
Saxophone's end. A bandura? As you wish. Woohoo! Psycho!
Alright, let's go.
The trail was all too obvious.
Listen up!
For everyone.
Unbreakable!
So as long as you get rid of Komuda, he won't be able to summon a Nukutea.
This is a breach of free breeze passenger etiquette.
Alright. Yeah, he needs to go.
Listen up.
Don't mess with Texas.
Listen to the melodies of wind and waves. Shotgun! Leaving.
Alright, now notice this thing can randomly hit anyone. Yep, time to go.
You've got guts.
Have to hit? Yay.
Saxophone. Do you have any requests?
Texas.
Yep, Texas.
That was a flight.
The hall is in utter disarray. Labored breathing, sighs, and sobbing blend together like a sickly pot of thick stew.
No, this isn't right.
She wants to say more, but the familiar scent of herbal incense suddenly overwhelms her. Sleepy reeds, an herbal anesthetic used by Nukatai priests during surgeries.
I think you need some rest, sister.
Oh, hell no. You're trying to put her to sleep?
Huh?
How dare you, man? How dare you?
I'm sorry, Fatutu. This
What?
needs to be done.
Right. She's lost her people. Salone catches her as she falls unconscious. The ongoing confrontation on the other side of the hall is evidently far more intense.
A fine speech, Miss Vertin. Such delectable, righteous indignation.
Surrender, Miss Grace. Your lies will not succeed here.
Why, of course. To tell a lie brings the harshest of consequences. Even a kindergartner knows that.
Grace surveys the hall. Countless eyes are fixed on her. Anger, hostility, confusion, disdain. She has walked through it all before and never left a trace.
Everyone, whenever there's an imminent storm, my watch here starts a countdown. But there have been no signs of...
Grace places a delicate hand on her raised arm, interrupting her speech.
What a coincidence, Miss Vertin. I so happen to have a similar device myself.
Her pocket watch. Right?
3, 2.
Wait. Something just clicked.
Impossible.
Miss Vertin. As you said, lies will not succeed here. The question is, who here is the liar?
It just clicked on me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to relish the sight before you. Here we are.
Damn. And I
The
clipped.
last evening on Earth.
Oh my. She said the title drop. And it just dawned on me. Ulrich. Okay, so there might be a slight little audio delay during my recording because I think the game kind of lagged a bit, which kind of messed up my audio a bit. So I had to change a little bit. So on to part 14, a call for help. And if I'm right about Ulrich being a part of the Manus, maybe unintentionally, helping Grace with her plan. So the figure running down the corridor narrowly avoids another container, the ferrofluid violently swirling in his tank.
Flux's sake! I can't work under these dim lights. Could this cheapskate cruise liner not spring for some decent halogens or fluorescence?
Ulrich briskly makes his way down to the corner, the asymmetrical nuclear collector inside his briefcase buzzing loudly.
Just as I expected. The closer I get, the more erratically the collector's gauge reacts. I must pinpoint this ship's current location as soon as possible. Wait, the readings are a bit off. Is it because of the seawater? Or is there an abundant load of nuclide R in this area?
He crouches down, laying the suitcase on the ground and pounding on it.
This thing must be broken. Oh, when I get my hands on the engineers responsible for maintaining this, I swear I'll... calm yourself and think, Ulrich. Did you miss anything crucial? Yes! The oily slime in the power supply room. A rudimentary test showed that its refractive index and infrared spectrum closely matched our samples from Manus Vindictae.
The ringing of the communicator interrupts his thoughts.
Who's calling? Regulus?
Finally! Oh, I've been trying to reach you for a while now, Ulrich.
Calling to check on the artificial storm project, are you? I still have a way to go. I'll call you when I need a hand or two.
No. I'm afraid I'm not offering you a hand. I'm asking for one. We need you topside, you fabulous fish tank. There's a gang of Manus thugs here.
Ulrich leaps to his feet. Amid the static, he has caught the most crucial piece of information.
The Manus? There's sure to be a considerable amount of nuclide within their masks.
Perhaps I don't need this unreliable scrap of metal after all. Send me your location straight away, Regulus.
So he didn't activate the experiment. Somehow Grace can summon it?
Where are these Manus thugs?
A surging dark mass of people blocks Ulrich's view.
Lux's sake! This is a bigger crowd than I expected.
His bulb stands out amidst the crowd, causing the spread of a new panic as they retreat from him.
Who is this fucking light bulb?
Oh my god! I don't want to end up with a light bulb for a head!
Huh? What are you talking about?
Ulrich nimbly dodges the hammer below, intense electrical impulses surging through his body.
There we are. Another extract of asymmetrical nuclide R.
Though poised to take action, Ulrich is promptly stopped by the pleading hostages.
Ulrich! We're over here!
Wonderful. I should be able to extract even more over there.
He is immediately cut short upon entering the crowd. Ulrich narrowly avoids another attack before finally reuniting with the others.
This seems to be a bit more than a gang. Closer to a horde, really. You understated your situation, Regulus.
Your help is much appreciated all the same, Mr. Ulrich.
Help? Well, I'm afraid I won't be much help to you, Timekeeper. Fighting is far from my specialty.
Blimey!
Regulus feels utterly lost.
They seem to be corralling the guests. At least they aren't hurting them for now.
It isn't about hurting them. She wants to recruit more followers.
Countless steely, emotionless eyes scan the crowd with icy precision.
Is there a single ship in this whole bleeding world that doesn't belong to either the Foundation or the Manus?
Mr. Ulrich, does Laplace possess any technology that could detect an imminent storm?
We made several attempts to do so in the aftermath of the second storm, but none of them proved effective. Since that time, we've become reliant on the storm alerts from the Foundation, or more specifically, from you, Timekeeper.
Miss Grace claimed that the storm was coming, and she managed to accurately predict the occurrence of the anomaly outside. Yet, my watch has shown no sign of an imminent storm.
Light rain is tapping on the portholes, and Nettle unconsciously tightens the cuffs on her sleeve.
In any event, I believe in you, Timekeeper.
Thank you, Sonetto. But it isn't you that I need to convince. It's them.
Countless eyes filled with fear, suspicion, and hostility remain fixed on them.
No wonder my readings were going wild. Apologies, Timekeeper. Though nothing would make me happier than disproving Manus Vindictae, I can't deny the possibility that these phenomena are precursors to the storm.
This is not a reassuring answer. The wind howls fiercely. The horizon has become almost completely obscured. Far-off islands and faintly visible reefs blend into one another, as if smeared with an even darker shade of paint. Amid the crowd, people slump to the ground, their sobs lingering in the air.
Please, everyone, listen. We have to stay calm.
Struggling to her feet with the help of her crackling box, Marcarola rises to fulfill her duty.
I ask you to put your faith in me and in the free breeze.
I should have never come to this party.
I want to go home. I'm scared. Someone help us. Please.
Marcarola's voice is utterly drowned out by the wails of the crowd.
What can I do to get these people's attention?
And makes it worse, something happens. A massive sound resonates from the bow of the ship, setting a vibration so strong that many are thrown to the ground.
What? What's happening?
Due to low visibility at sea, some public services on the free breeze will be temporarily suspended. We apologize for any inconvenience caused. We are now entering an area of treacherous reef. During this time, there may be some sharp shifts in course.
Was this the intended route?
In order that we might reach the new era as soon as possible,
Oh no.
the free breeze will forge ahead at full speed.
You have got to be kidding me. He's also Manus. Christ.
Please stay indoors, and in case of emergency, hold on to the handrails. I repeat, please stay indoors and hold on to the handrails.
Captain Grace, why in the world is the free breeze going full speed through these reefs?
Oh, I think she wants to cause an accident. Destroy the ship?
To embrace the future.
But if we strike any of these reefs, the damage could be catastrophic.
She wants to cause a Titanic.
Not as catastrophic as missing our chance to embrace the storm.
She wants to press fear into these people so that she can recruit the more followers for the Manus by instilling fear. Maybe. Her softly spoken words fall on deaf ears.
Lou! I won't stand for this! You're just trying to scare us into joining your cult!
See, he gets me.
Oh, I'll bet there's no reef, no storm at all! This is trickery, and I intend to prove it!
And how will you?
Do as you wish, sir. Please watch your footing. The wind is howling outside.
She gives a polite nod as the guest storms out of the cabin.
Look! I'm standing firm as a bolt!
The guest stands firm on the deck, like a warrior singing triumphantly between Scilia's cliffs and Charybdis' whirlpool. That is until he's struck by the power of the wind. Struck by the... Man overboard! His scream is quickly drowned in the storm as he vanishes into the void. One guest pulls the hatch closed open, blocking out the howling wind outside and returning their one safe haven to silence.
The gentleman is gone!
He just got thrown off.
Miss Grace, you murdered that man.
What an utterly baffling accusation. Have I shot him? Stabbed him? No. The choice was always in his own hands, wasn't it?
She's not wrong. The hall remains silent. After a long while, one quivering guest steps forward.
Captain, you said you'd save us if we joined Manus Vindictae, right?
It's not as simple as that, I'm afraid. But relax. There is only a small trial to pass. Then the new era waits.
She gestures to an all-too-familiar mask sitting silently on the table.
You may feel a little disoriented.
Damn it.
But your body will be in no danger.
So, if we all put on these masks, then this nightmare will be over?
Things can't get any worse than they are now, can they? Give me the mask!
There it is, the desperation. Don't let the child put the mask on.
Oh, lost lambs. This will be the bravest leap you've ever taken over the fence.
Yep. Sonetto turns to the crowd.
Please, everyone, don't fall for her lies. She doesn't offer you salvation, but slavery. Don't give up your free will. Listen to her. We've got to be free to choose for ourselves. Rock, blues, classical, or heavy metal, it doesn't matter. Each of us is our own melody. The Manus will take that from you.
It's our turn, Timekeeper. I'm at your command.
Alright. Anything?
Alright. Our priority is to bring the guests back to their senses.
And how will we do so? You must ask me. Are we gonna knock some sense into them? I would believe so. Don't we?
Let the overture begin.
Yep. It's time to kick their asses to sense.
Everyone, please listen to me. The storm isn't coming anytime soon. The St. Pavlov Foundation will ensure your safety.
But you and your foundation have been hiding the truth behind the storm from the public. How can we trust you?
For a reason. There's a reason. It's rules.
Don't lose hope. The Foundation and the LSCC have been working hard to overcome the storm, and we've never been so close to achieving it.
Really? Is that true?
Yes. Our research on the storm is on the verge of a breakthrough. One that will benefit everyone.
Come on, guys. Do you really want to plaster one of those things on your face? You'll never be able to eat again or listen to music. Blimey! What kind of life would that be?
And for the fact that it gets stuck onto your face for eternity until you're dead.
Don't waste your breath on these lapdogs. They're all bark and no bite.
Saxophones and
Okay.
a bandura?
For everyone.
As you wish. Shotgun! Listen up.
I gotta work on that.
This is a breach.
Please don't.
Listen up. Do you have any requests? Sending down signals from above.
Please.
Saxophones and a bandura?
For everyone.
As you wish.
Meeting.
Woohoo! Stay cool.
Stars.
My next performance, bubbles bursting. Unbreakable.
Please don't.
This is a breach of free breeze passenger etiquette. Do you have any now for the crescendo with fortissimo tutti. I dedicate this song to you. What an awful racket you make. Saxophones and a bandura?
Please.
As you wish.
Meeting.
Nice.
The civilians have calmed down, Timekeeper.
More like they're passed out.
Take a moment. I'll deal with the rest.
No, Sonetto. This crisis is far from over.
Good grief. How many passengers are on this bloody thing?
Don't act surprised. It's just another day on the job.
The guests remain in turmoil as the believers and skeptics argue among one another. Fear and confusion quickly spread through them. Like ink and water, and soon...
I did it! I put on the mask!
I'm saved! Thank you, Miss Grace!
It hurts! It hurts so much!
Help! We can't let more of these people give in to their fears.
Her voice is almost entirely drowned out by the roaring crowd.
These stubborn outsiders must be silenced. Take them away. Let our revenge begin with them. Salome, take my troubled sister back to her room. The softness of her heart has clouded her judgment, just as her shell shows.
Chief.
Black ink seems to stain every one of their faces. The upheaval has engulfed the Nukatai along with countless other innocents.
Mom, I want to go home.
Just think if something happens, sweetheart. Remember that toy your dad bought you? It's waiting for you at home. We'll be there soon. Just put this on.
Trembling, the mother slowly lowers the mask to her child's face. Don't do that! Why?
No!
Thank God, Barcarola. Barcarola lunges forward, knocking the menace mask out of her hand.
I don't believe your job description permits you to interrupt our guests. Does it, Miss Barcarola?
I don't understand, Captain Grace. Why are you letting this happen? Why are you doing this?
Grace carefully picks up the still humming mask and brushes off the dust. She steps forward.
Cheer up, dear girl. Hold that chin up high. Now that's the spirit. The brightest star of the free breeze forever and always. Just take a look. Your loyal fans are waiting for your next show. Won't you play some of those beautiful melodies for them again?
But, Miss Grace, what do you mean by the storm and diseases of the world and this new era?
Oh, it's all so much simpler than you think, Miss Barcarola. In the new era, all that you hated in this time will vanish, as if it had never been there at all. The city of violins you swore you'd never return to will soon be forgotten. Washed away in the coming storm. Your wish will come true. You'll never need to turn to it. You couldn't even if you tried.
Never again?
Memories of her home returned to her as if she were there just yesterday. The towering bell tower of the cathedral, the creaking footbridges of the dock, the Cremonia Music Festival competitor list that never displayed her name, and the distant scent of torta and risotto. She has been far away from that world for so long, yet there before her eyes she sees it again. The report card scribed with red ink soaring on the wind.
What was it you said about that rotten little town? The monotony of sound, the disappointment of those old fossils and their little worlds. Is that right?
Yes. I said I never wanted to go back.
Now, keep your hand steady this time, my dear. You must be certain.
Is she trying to force the mask on her? Don't you dare. Cold metal meets Barcarolla's hand, jolting her back to reality. Her trembling hand reaches for her peculiar silent instrument. She cradles it in her arms.
My crackling box.
The familiar texture of the adhesive holding it together reassures her. She runs her fingers over it before greedily moving on to the rest. Then, in the intricate structure of the instrument she created, she finds all the pieces of that familiar thing. A fingerboard, strings, a sound post, a bridge, tuning pegs, a violin. A sudden warmth bursts forth within her, urging her to push the mask aside. She almost fell for it. Thank God for that, she almost fell for it. She was trying to put the mask on her. So, research on stable materials validation from artificial storm experiments, first draft. So, introduction, research background and significance. She references Lawrence Butterfly, existing issues, main research content of this paper, chapter 2, experimental materials. I am not reading all of this. So, the slime samples contain okay materials, Manus Vindictae report filed in the Decaying Keeper. So, chapter 2.2, instruments, criteria. Chapter 3, there's a lot, isn't there? So freaking many. Yeah. Alright. So let's look at a new page turned. I guess they found themselves a hiding spot. And look at this. It's all like cloudy here. Very dark here. And the bottom deck is just covered in slime or anything really. Alright.
I'm confused, Toa. If these disbelievers are a danger to our vengeance, why are we only locking them up? Shouldn't we just toss them overboard?
The chief wants Fatutu to decide how to deal with them. A test of her allegiance and her conviction. After she puts on the mask, of course.
Ugh.
You're afraid, Salome. Don't be. The trial isn't difficult. I see things so clearly now.
I don't know, Toa. I trust in Kamutsa's leadership, but still.
You gotta be. Don't trust him. Don't trust any of your leaders' bullcrap now. He's already too far gone. You gotta believe in Fatutu, or believe in yourself.
Just like always, you're waiting for everyone else to test the water before you jump.
I just feel that there's something wrong. You say you're not afraid, Toa, but I hear your chains clinking. You're shaking too.
Shut up. That's only because we're in a freezer.
A familiar place.
Blimey! Locked up again. At this rate, I'll have my imprisoned on all 7 continents bingo card before I turn 20. It's an honest bet I've spent more time behind bars than my own home.
I wasn't aware that you had a home. Beyond the ship, I mean.
Of course I do, love. The whole of London is my home.
So you're homeless?
I've walked its streets. I've inspired its people. I fought for its music. Its spirit stamped on my very soul.
She paces back and forth in the cell as she passionately proclaims her cause. Rebellious artists often fall into such radical expressions.
And jolly old London will always have a harbour open for this captain and her apple as a token of... Wait, Barcarola, what are you doing here?
A familiar silhouette appears in the prison door window.
Well, I suppose those tin heads aren't the type to appreciate a true artist. Jealous of our talents, no doubt.
Miss Grace said to give you special treatment, Barcarola. But I warn you, these prisoners are ours to deal with. So don't get any ideas.
What? Barcarola, don't tell me you're siding with these tone-deaf goons!
The door creaks open, and Regulus stumbles back a few steps. What greets her isn't the familiar sweetheart of the ship, nor the elegant musician, but a tear-streaked, almost disfigured and helpless face of a young girl.
I'm just confused. It seems like there's only one way forward, but the captain said that only those who put on the mask have a chance to survive the storm, and that everyone else, the unbelievers, the Forsaken, will vanish. Miss Vertin, tell me the truth. Please. What will happen if I put it on?
Her voice is almost entirely drained of strength.
If I reach this beautiful new era Miss Grace speaks of, what will happen to Cremona? The streets, the cathedral, all of the people I grew up with. Will I ever be able to see them again?
The truth is, after the storm there may still be a Cremona, but every face, every song, every brick from each house to the cathedral will be different. The storm will wash away almost all traces of this era. But you can still help us, Miss Barcarola.
Me? How?
No matter when the storm arrives, we must fight till the last second to help as many people survive as possible.
I need some time to think.
Yep. The door slams open again.
Your visiting time is over, Barcarola. Better not overstay your welcome.
Barcarola wipes the tears from her eyes, taking deep breaths as she tries to steady herself.
I have another request. Could you tell me where Fatutu is? I just want to see her, is all. As a friend.
They're not pulling punches with the stories, huh? Like, really. The captain's cabin is calm compared to the carefully crafted atmosphere of fear and eeriness on the rest of the ship. A delicate hand turns the knob on the radio, switching it to a more secretive frequency.
They're well aware of your contribution.
Forget-me-not. How you been?
To follow their divine guidance, we must be willing to renounce both body and mind.
Well done, Apostle Grace.
I knew it. I guessed it right. Why couldn't Forget-me-not be a character that we can use and play? But then again, he is a villain.
To think those white suits are so sure they've caught us off guard. Oh, I can't wait to see the despair in their eyes when they fall flat on their faces. I can imagine it now. Let us all observe a moment of silence for those lost in our latest failure. Let us honor them as eternal monuments of our cause. How pathetic.
Despite the static, the ridicule in Forget-me-not's tone rings clear.
Oh, and what about this Laplace rat that I hear is stowed away on board?
Yes, the awakened ferrofluid sample named Ulrich. One of the major contributors to the creation of the Equilibrium Umbrella.
Let's hope his little umbrella keeps him dry. Because if he isn't careful, he may end up in much deeper waters.
The ritual materials are nearly assembled, and we are accelerating our recruitment. but the Nukutai spirit shells have yet to reach their most optimal form. It could hinder the stability of the ritual if they're not immersed in pure negative emotion.
Your commitment to quality is impressive, but the shells needn't be perfect to perform as needed. Do not waste time unnecessarily. Do you understand, Apostle Grace? I trust you've learned from the last failure.
Yes.
Excellent. A teleportation array has been set up for you, but it will last only a short while. You must begin the ritual as soon as your ship reaches the target location. Manus Vindictae awaits your return.
Yes, Mr. Forget-Me-Not. I will always follow their guidance.
The communication ends, leaving only the echo of the final words spoken through it. Grace raises a pale hand and gently caresses the intricate patterns on the spirit shells. Silence fills the room. Intense. It's getting too intense. One must figure. Alright, so we got a new thing here. Let me look at this. So, evaluation meeting, we need to first determine who's at fault before we can identify who needs improvement. So, we can't allow failure and betrayal to run rampant indefinitely, don't you agree, Miss Grace? The shadow of the serpent twists under the light, appearing several times larger than its true form. Yes, replies another shadow, trying to lower itself as much as possible. You quickly identified that the toy was a contract item used to control the succubus, which is impressive. It also shows you're different from Matthias and possess wisdom befitting an apostle. The stirring rod clinked against the teacup, producing a melodic sound. I am sorry that others fell to Kimberly's betrayal. I did overestimate the potency of the contract item. If you'd shown less mercy to that succubus and given her stricter orders, this tragedy might have been averted. Likewise, if you had been more ruthless in Texas, you wouldn't have wasted so much time there and would not have lost the contract item in the chaos. Although in the end, losing it was Igor and his subordinates' fault, not yours. Thank you for your guidance and understanding. Steel yourself, merciful little lambs, your grace. Showing compassion to a viper only gets you bitten. Remember this in your next mission. The Nukutais. They will present us with their spirit shells. Your capabilities are undeniable. I still hold some faith in you. At last, a hot cup of tea is stirred into a cold one. And the serpent's shadow vanishes out the door without even flicking its tongue. Oh, and I shouldn't need to remind you, any unforeseen events during the mission must be reported, especially anything related to Vertin. This is also according to their grace. Yes, it's all for their return. Okay, so today is Thursday, and this might be my last video on this one, because apparently, or at least my last time to doing this here. I wanted to do on 18, but unfortunately it may or may not become true. I don't know. I just want to see how long this takes. Also, just to let you guys know, I checked out my first video that I did this, the first part 1, and there has been a copyright claim for some stupid reason. Something about metadata, whatever the hell it is, meaning I can't, this will be blocked. My first video has been blocked worldwide. I'm not sure why the hell that is, and it's gonna mute mostly everything in that video. I don't know. Maybe it's this music on this one. Maybe it's the music behind this here. Not sure what the hell is going on. Metadata bullshit. That's what it is. Maybe. Copyright claiming bullcrap. I don't know. So, let's go to part 16, Bar Carol. So I might just mute some parts. And, yeah, mute some parts where the music is going. I don't know. Fucking hell. Are you trying to break out?
It's no use. The cabin's wall is heavily reinforced. My arcane skills can barely scratch it.
I guess that's why they didn't even bother taking our stuff. Ulrich, you've got to have some miraculous trinkets up your sleeve to bust us out, right? You're the pride of Laplace after all.
Laplace is not a circus.
Yeah.
And I am no magician. but I may have something that can help. I have a small amount of TNT and some papier pillar solvents.
You have TNT on hand. Funny.
The former can blast the door open. However, it will likely blast us to smithereens along with it.
Yeah, no one wants that.
The latter is much safer, of course. All we need to do is apply to the walls and then wait for a couple of days.
I'm sorry?
We're abso-friggin-lutely screwed, aren't we?
Yep.
Don't be gloom, Miss Regulus. We aren't beat yet.
Ulrich sets aside the obviously useless tools. He has made a much more important discovery.
Take a look at this, Timekeeper. I've been recording the Free Breeze's heading since it left Sydney. Though unfortunately, something has been jamming our signal. Yet, we can still extrapolate from my earlier readings that the ship is not heading to its advertised destination.
Yeah, I was right. It's something else.
It's heading steadily southward.
It appears so.
Her thoughts churn more violently than the ferrofluid's vibrations.
The forecast of the storm, the sudden eclipse, the mask trials, and the speed at which the Free Breeze is now heading. If all they wanted was to recruit more followers, they would allow for more time to convince the others. However, if the storm is indeed coming, then why would we be racing forward through these reefs? Their actions don't seem to be aimed at recruiting, nor at passing through the storm. Rather, they seem to be aimed at intimidation.
Yep, it was pretty much it. If you can't convince them, you might as well intimidate them to join. The air in the cell seems to momentarily stagnate.
This would add weight to the possibility that the storm they're promising is only a trick to inspire more fear. That said, we must consider the chance of the storm occurring, no matter how slim it may seem.
Ulrich stands tall, unwavering in the face of conjecture.
Until the truth is ultimately revealed, all we can rely on are the instruments in our hands and the readings before our eyes.
Then we are agreed, Mr. Ulrich. Whether the storm is coming or not, we need to be well prepared.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
We've brought quite a few equilibrium umbrellas with us, and my suitcase can also serve as a temporary shelter. However, that will do nothing for the humans aboard.
Your suitcase? Then the rumors are true. No wonder the Stick in the Mud Foundation greenlit you to build your own team.
Because she literally is carrying her team in a suitcase. Ulrich stares intently at the suitcase held in her hands.
I would give anything to analyze it one day.
I'm certain that day will come. Eventually. Sonetto, how many equilibrium umbrellas have we brought exactly?
Exactly 73.
A sufficient number to cover all the comrades and the suitcases. Unfortunately, it's far from enough to account for the nearly 1,000 people aboard the Free Breeze.
You're up, ladies. Our hopes are not dashed just yet.
Mr. Ulrich, you're not speaking of your artificial storm experiment, are you? We have neither the time nor personnel to assist you with it, and I implore you to consider the potential risks, especially in attempting it alone and under these conditions.
Ulrich eagerly continues his explanation, heedless of his companion's concerns.
Irrespective of your concerns, thanks to those oily heads and their quirky masks, I have acquired more than enough asymmetrical nuclide R to perform the immutability experiments.
But have you considered the side effects, Mr. Ulrich?
Nope. The ferrofluid halts for a moment.
It's true. There is the risk of unavoidable side effects the experiments pose, and I admit that, if I were in the lab, we would use much more time and caution. But on this ship, I am the only one capable of withstanding the effects of the storm syndrome.
Yeah, he's awakened. Despite his seemingly calm tone, a new round of protestation is volleyed his way.
Hold on, hang about. Have you gone right off the dock? Oh, we can't afford to lose you, genius. You're the only gadget guru we've got. Oh, we're counting on you to fix the signal.
She grabs Ulrich by the tank and frantically shakes it, sending the ferrofluid swirling inside.
Mind the negativity, Regulus. I may be a scientist, but I'd rather not have the bad omens. It does take time to recover from the storm syndrome. Indeed, it could be as long as 3 months, or a few weeks. But hey, it may well be just a matter of seconds. Fortune favors the bold, you know.
But if I've learned anything at Laplace, it's that we'll need to do dozens of tests.
I agree with Regulus. Your plan is too reckless, Mr. Ulrich.
I think it's the only plan we got.
Our priority should be to find a way to escape this ship safely.
She looks through the cell door window. There's no one outside.
What about Miss Barcarola? Do you think she'll stand with us?
She will. I have faith in her.
Yeah. What artists can do, artists can do.
Mr. Essam, would you lend me a hand, please?
What brought our brightest little star? Oh, look at you out of breath and all covered in dust. What happened?
Easy, easy, Barcarola. We're here to help.
The warmth of their greetings causes tears to swell up in her eyes.
That's right, Signorina. Why don't you tell us what happened? The captain told us to stay put, but we'll do whatever we can to help you.
The Free Breeze will never go home again.
What?
Captain Grace said this era is coming to an end, and only those who put on a Manus Vindictae mask and pass its trial can reach the new era with her.
Sorry, what? You just turned your old friend Charlie's brain into a knot. Where are we going, then?
There's no telling where or even when we'll end up. Could be someplace 10 years ago, or even 100 years.
You mean we're traveling through time?
I don't know.
I've got to admit, Signorina, this all sounds a bit too wild to be believed, but as sure as a compass points north.
He gently pats her on the shoulder with a large, rough hand.
I will trust you mean every word you say.
Thank you, Giovanni.
So, you're saying if we don't do something, then none of us will ever see home again?
Her silence is answer enough. The sailors exchange a glance, needing no words to make their decision.
It's decided then. We'll fight by your side, Miss Barcarola. Because none of us wants to find ourselves in a random land back when the dinosaurs roamed.
You got that right. I won't let them ruin my retirement.
We'll sail ourselves home if we've got to. One thing's for certain. I don't want to be stuck here for the rest of my life.
All right, gentlemen, enough with the words. It's time to take action. Miss Barcarola, is there anything we can do?
Yes, of course.
Alright, we got ourselves a mutiny. Haha. Hell yeah. Alright, I think I got a little bit more time to do this. In fact, I think I might be able to do all the way through 18. Alright. To Dissonance.
Hey, the Nukatai nut jobs outside are gone. Oh, don't tell me they've abandoned ship and left us here to starve. Come back here, you yellow-bellied cowards. This pirate is not going to Davy Jones' locker without a fight.
I turned off my mic for a bit. Having satisfied her anger by yelling through the porthole, she turns to the others.
Sonetto, are those solvents working at all? Tell me they are.
It appears the outer layer of the door has already dissolved substantially.
Excellent. The papier pillar solvents are more effective than I anticipated. At this rate, the door should be fully dissolved in approximately 13 hours.
Oh, wow! That fast? Really, Fish Tank? I'll be waiting with bated breath.
She furiously shakes his glass tank.
Hey, why don't you just whip us up a few helmets like yours? That way you can just blast the door open with TNT and we'll be sound as a pound. Well, our heads at least.
My helmet is made of regular silica, 7.092% calcium magnesium carbonate, and 3.27% aluminum oxide. I'm afraid it's no more explosion-proof than your regular old skull.
Yep. Regulus slumps against the door, asks the last vestiges of resistance leave her body. A faint shout comes from the other side of the door.
Regulus, I'd stay away from the door if I were you.
Huh?
Uh-oh.
They're here.
Hold on to this anchor like your life depends on it. We ram the door open on the count of 3.
Oh, Regulus, you better get out of the way. The helmsman's voices are like music to their ears.
3.
Yep. Countdown begins.
2.
A nearly soul-stirring impact.
1.
With their final count, the supposedly unbreakable door collapses. The cheering of familiar faces echoes through the room. Regulus swears it's the most beautiful noise she's ever heard.
Right on! Oh, I knew you'd come through for us, Barcarola. A rising star through hell or high water.
You have our thanks, Miss Barcarola.
I just want to save as many people as possible. For the pride of the free breeze.
We aim to do the same thing.
After a pause, Ulrich steps forward.
Timekeeper, I need to get to the radio room. It's likely to be the only place on the ship that will be able to get through their jamming.
She turns to Ulrich with a solemn look on her face.
I'll bring good news, I promise.
I see. Regulus, you should go with him.
No. I don't need additional manpower for such an easy...
I insist. We can't afford to lose anyone, Mr. Ulrich.
She places a compact device in his leather-gloved hand.
This is...
The Pioneer's Mark I positioning system. The latest in technology from Laplace.
But if I recall correctly, it's never been mass-produced. Only a few prototypes were made available.
And this is one of them. If anything happens, someone can use it to track you down if you're in serious trouble. Like if you've fallen into the sea.
Okay.
This will surely come in handy. Thanks, Timekeeper.
Good luck, Mr. Ulrich.
He won't need it, because no one knows radio systems better than this captain.
You know, that's actually true. She is a DJ. She nods before the two vanish around the corner.
The rest of us need to return to the lobby and get the masked guests under control. Sonetto, do we have sufficient sedatogens left?
Yes, Timekeeper. We still have plenty.
She turns to the helmsman.
Gentlemen, I'll need your assistance too.
Of course, ma'am. Miss Barcarola already told us everything. Sounds like helping you means we're helping ourselves.
Esam, do you know where we can find the spare keys to the passenger cabins? We have another friend to free.
And that is Fatutu. And I got some good news too. Elsewhere on the ship, two stealthy figures navigate through the darkness. And the funniest thing is, when I just logged in today, and guess what? Fatutu's out already, just right now. And, well, I guess I'll show you in a moment, because as I recall, I only had one enough for 10 pulls. But I saved it after I got Barcarola. That's the truth.
Are you sure this is the right way?
Are you doubting my capabilities?
Not exactly.
So, here comes the broadcast room. The broadcasting room is empty.
It's only that I expected they'd have this place locked down like the crown jewels. But nobody's here.
That is a great question, Regulus.
We'll concern ourselves with that later.
How about now?
Let's get to work, Regulus.
Right, ignoring Regulus' wondering about, Ulrich quickly channels his thought current into the broadcasting console. VHF radio. Welcome to whatever it is.
Coastal Base Station, come in. Coastal Base Station, come in. Where's the International Maritime Organization when you need them? Laplace Australia branch, please come in. Laplace Australia branch, please come in.
I just checked out the wiring. All the signal transmitters have been sabotaged.
Yeah, you should have checked that first.
No wonder there's been no sight nor sound of those oily freaks.
Ulrich seems unsurprised. Retracting his thought current, he disregards the apparent predicament. He lays one peculiar item after another onto the table.
Reel it in, fish tank.
You're not conducting the artificial storm experiments right here, are you?
Why not? We have a supernatural phenomenon,
yes,
a vast water supply,
yes,
sufficient asymmetrical nuclide R,
yep,
and the required sound wave frequency ready in the transmission system here.
Which is the broadcasting room. Okay, now you got everything you need. Good job for your testing.
If these aren't the perfect testing conditions for the artificial storm, then what is?
Wait. Are you forgetting what you just said to Vertin? What about all those side effects? You've got no bleeding idea how severe they'll be or how long they'll last.
Which is why it's lucky you were sent along with me, Regulus. If anything happens to me, you'll have to be the one to report the experiment's results.
He gives her a hearty pat on the shoulder.
Whether the storm comes or not, we'll have made an undeniable leap of progress. More than worth a bit of storm syndrome, no matter how nasty.
He tosses an equilibrium umbrella into Regulus's hands.
At least now you'll have an extra equilibrium umbrella.
He pays no mind to his immobile teammate. Instead, he meticulously sorts through the materials he has spread on the table.
Ulrich, I refuse to be a part of this.
It's a golden opportunity, Regulus. You gotta admit. Alright, let me show you what I was talking about. So apparently, here we are with Fatutu's banner, and yeah, I had enough.
I'm so glad to have you here. No, I mean, I'm so grateful you let me stay here.
Yep, I have Fatutu, and she has a very peculiar looking abilities here. Now, when did I see this one? I know for a fact that there was a moment when I got her. Like, I'm not sure when it tells me when I got her. Does it really track me when I got her? Let's go on to the final part, part 18, the 27 Club. Rock never dies. In the current cramped broadcasting room, the little lion and the light bulb are at a face-off.
What did you say?
Her unexpected declaration has caused the ferrofluid to come to a halt.
You heard me, you daft light bulb. I will not be your undertaker.
Regulus, you still haven't grasped the significance of this project, have you? We've figured out the principles of the storm, and even developed the means to create its simulacra. Yes, there's still much room for improvement, but we've already made a huge leap. And now, we finally have the opportunity to put our theories into application. Finding an immutable material is essential to our survival. The Regulus satellite proved it to all of us. Just think about it, Regulus. We are standing right on the cusp of the post-storm era.
Regulus hangs her head.
Fish tank, you planned this all along, didn't you?
Don't tell me you're worried about the funds and credit for the experiment. Laplace will cover all your potential losses and expenses incurred should anything go wrong. And whether this project succeeds or not, your assistance has been indispensable. Surely enough to earn you a fat bonus and a high rating for your salary review. And I will certainly not be hogging all the credit.
Ulrich stops upon seeing an even more resolute expression come across Regulus's face.
Whoa! No! Keep it in the tank! You've got me all wrong, Magnet Head.
Huh?
Tell him, Regulus. The two exchange stunned looks.
I'm a member of Laplace now, same as you. A researcher, not just an observer. I too witnessed the storm.
Ulrich has never seen Regulus so earnest. Huh?
So ergo, therefore, QED, I'll participate in your artificial storm experiment. Not as your note-taker, but as your fellow experimenter.
I never expected this from you, Regulus.
He knocks on his glass tank, perplexed.
Don't tell me my reports were really that bad.
I mean, this is gonna be a heartwarming moment here. I think these two might be just best friends.
Never mind. Really, don't tell me. Fact of the matter is, I got an advance on my wages, so I fully intend to do my duty as a researcher. Besides, no rockin' pirate with a spine would ever leave their shipmate stranded in danger.
Ulrich squeezes Regulus's shoulder.
I admire your courage, truly. However, when it comes to these experiments, you must leave it to me.
Come on.
That is an order, Regulus.
His resolve is unyielding. He opens the door, signaling Regulus to leave his lab.
I need you to observe my status through the porthole and record our experimental data. You're the only one that can do it.
All right, Magnet Head, have it your way.
Her eyes linger on the experimental materials in the case. Platinum Ouija boards, young dragon tongue tubes, fire moth powder, and numerous duplicated records.
Say, Ulrich, do you like rock?
Now is hardly the time to chat about music, don't you think? I hope you won't be pestering me with more of these inane questions.
I love Regulus, I don't know why.
And to answer you, I prefer brown noise. Its frequencies produce a soothing rhythm in my ferrofluid.
Wait. You like the brown note? Don't call Cartman, guys. Do not call Cartman here with a stupid flute. Wait, was it someone else? Not Cartman. No, thank God, not Cartman.
See? That's exactly why I can't leave it to you.
What?
This logical leap nearly causes Ulrich's circuits to crash.
I turned a blind eye to your blatant acts of piracy and brushed off your blasphemies against rock. But if I miss out on an adventure like this, I'll forever lose the right to join the 27 Club.
What is it?
The 27 Club?
All the best rock stars die at 27, or in a blaze of glory.
You're serious?
This is my record, my responsibility.
And you're just gonna take it out like this? And she got no glasses on. Eyes are pretty, though.
We might fall or even vanish.
This is most definitely a Regulus character development arc here.
Maybe we'll get turned into cubes or paint or whatever. But at the end of the day, rock never dies.
That much is true.
Whether you're a rock legend or not, you shine with the radiance of humanity.
Why is it only the fact that you are the only one that could compliment Regulus' stupidity? And I respect that. I honestly respect that.
Regulus, I salute both your experimental spirit and your rock and roll spirit. There's only one thing left to do.
Pump up
Project. Experiments on material immutability via artificial storm. Locale. Radio room of the Free Breeze cruise ship. Experimenters. Ulrich and Regulus.
Yeah.
Our experiment will now commence.
Okay. Alright. And with that, guys, I am going to end this video here. But before that, let's read this. Alright, Artificial Storm Experiment footage. Check it out. You are witnessing the greatest rock moment of all time. Brought to you by the one and only Rockin' Captain. Keep it down, Researcher Regulus. I'm recording this. Hey, we could die in a second. No way I'm gonna stay silent. Then just keep yelling. We'll keep the control variables consistent. Now start testing the next material. Researcher Regulus, put down the Dragon Blood Resin Compass and pick up the Platinum Ouija. Yeah, how's this? Have I become a work of art yet? As with the previous material tests, Researcher Regulus' temporary storm symptoms have shown no improvement. The Platinum Ouija is ruled out. This concludes the testing of a single material objects. Next, let's move on to the two material objects. Okay, so alright. I'm gonna mute this music here because apparently, for some idiotic reason, like I said, the YouTube for some reason just claimed that the first video I put up was copyrighted block because apparently metadata is hidden. I'm not sure why it was hidden, not sure what is going on, But that's all I'm going to say. So thank you all for so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, please give this video a like or dislike. And if you're new to the channel, please be sure to click the subscribe button if you enjoyed my narrations, my commentaries, my games in general that I play, ramblings, narration, you know, how I narrate anything really. And if you enjoyed my vibes, casual vibes, then I'd be sure this is the channel for you. Yeah, I honestly can't wait to see how this experiment concludes and see the next part, which is the pain of missing home. We're about to make a mutiny. We're about to rescue some of the passengers here and there, and I hope that Regulus does never join the 27 Club, because yeah, Rockstar, 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 you know. So until next time, I will be continuing on to part 19 and so on, and probably by the end of the event as well. So, as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the new videos. Peace out, and have an awesome weekend.